Hi there, Starscream here. If anybody's watching, I guess maybe possibly you are, and maybe possibly you aren't. Alright, we're here to talk about this chap, Dinobot from the Beast Wars. Yes, I'm going back through the Beast Wars figures because I think they deserve that. And to say, you know, they're not legitimate Transformers or they're the new breed of Transformers, well, you can't really say that now. This is in 96 or 95 when they come out. So, an actual fact, and this is a fact, I went off Transformers for ages because I was in favour of the Ninja Turtles, which I could show you. I'll show you a Ninja Turtle. Actually, not that one. Actually, not that one. That one I'll do. I'm very professional, as you can tell. And you know me, I'm a very professional person. The very original Ninja Turtles, look at them. They're quite comical now. I mean, I've got a huge amount of turtle figures. Oh, I've got the movie ones. Would you like to... No, I'm here to talk about Dinobot, aren't I? I can get sidetracked very easily. Right, okay. So, original Dinobot. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to do a brief look at him in terms of how he was presented in the animated form, or CGI, which it's the same difference to me, but yeah, of course. And then we'll take a look at the actual figure itself.
Right, we're here to talk about Dinobot, possibly my favourite character out of Beast Wars, because he goes through so many significant changes. And initially, as I said, when I reviewed the episodes, I thought he was going to be the villain, the Starscream, the one who wanted to, you know, to corrupt everything, but he turns out to be the complete opposite. In actual fact, I think I find him better than the Maximals. So yeah, he's a pleasure to watch, especially when he sacrifices himself. Now, I'm not giving away spoilers, but I'm afraid it's too late now. Sorry, done, finished. He sacrifices himself for us ancestors, but obviously he can only go so far. He gets down into stasis lock, out of the injuries he sustains, and he dies. He dies a hero's death, not a coward's, which is what he lived for. That's why he reminds me of a Klingon. Absolutely marvellous. But that's not the end of Dinobot's story, believe it or not. They split Rampage's Spark. Yes, Sparks, as I said, they introduce more in this show than anything else. And they create a new version of Dinobot, because he wasn't a transmetal, he didn't get that. He was still the original old version of the Transformers. But yes, he comes back and he only has half of his mind. But he remembers things from the past of what he did. And he thinks, I've seen this before, but I can't remember where or how or why. And eventually he comes to his senses. And yet again, poor old Dinobot. He bites the big one, but he always goes out with a blaze of glory. That's why I really love Dinobot. There's nothing to dislike about him. Yes, he was frustrated with how the Maximals performed things, but that's only because he wasn't used to doing things that kind of way. But that doesn't take anything away from him. He was still, possibly, I think, the greatest character in Beast Wars. And now we will look at the figure. The original figure, by the way, there's been lots, but we're going to look at the original one.
Well, my darlings, this is the original Dinobot. There's been subsequently more variations of this particular figure, but this is the original one. And let's take a look at it, shall we? I've given you a backstory of what happens to him Now, I am missing... well, we'll go through that in a minute. I'm missing some little bits off him. But we're going to go through that. Because that's the whole point. I'm going to get closer to you, dears. That's the whole point. Now, I love the fact he has this raptor look. Which is very popular. Because I'm assuming... I'm only guessing. Because it was... well, not shortly after, but after Jurassic Park, and raptors were... well, everybody liked them. And honestly, before I saw the first Jurassic Park film, I'd never heard of a raptor. I've heard of a brontosaurus, I've heard of a T-Rex, I've heard of a stegosaurus, but not this guy. No, I'd never heard of one of these. So, I like the fact they use a raptor. An actual fact, and this is a fact, raptors aren't that big. Well, obviously they're not that big now because they're all extinct. But the reality is that raptors were quite small. So they were moulded for the film. Served a purpose. Don't get me wrong, I love Jurassic Park, the film. So, introduced me to raptors, but they were small. They were more like bird-like creatures than they are shown in the film. Anyway, we're getting off track here again, aren't we? Let's take a look at Dinobot. The head moulding's nice. Shut up. Just no. Just oh, no, he stayed. The figure is, well, if you go along the back here, the figure is quite good. But you've got a few problems with it. No, don't get me wrong. I still love the original Dinobot figure. So, please, I said I'm not a G1 snob. It's the transformation is, and the tail. Now the tail sort of looks like it's an add-on. Now there is a button that you can spin to pivot it. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can. But that pulls off. Now let's take a look at the figure without the tail. Now my biggest problem with the Dinobot figure, I'm not talking about the character, I've already talked about the character, so there's no point going over the same thing over and over and over again, is the legs that are underneath, and you can tell they're their legs. See, I mean, they try to make them transparent, because then hopefully you wouldn't, but really what you want to do, if I show you this, oh, come on matey, if you see that, forget my hands there, that's what you'd want him to look like, other than the tail that I've just taken off. But I didn't design him, so there's another thing that I've got two things missing off this particular figure, and I'm going to show them to you now. I don't like doing transformations on the camera, so we're just going to skip forwards. Right, here's Dinobot fully transformed. Now, as I said previously, they left his legs slightly transparent for the transformation, but you still see them, so that was a pointless thing to do. Let me get closer. Don't worry, I'm not going to get any closer than that. Now, there was a battle mask that they were going to animate in the original Beast Wars show, and subsequently, unfortunately, and like with all toys with flimsy little bits of plastic, I'll show you his head. They should have been there and there, but they're gone. So I'm assuming I either fell off or broke off. But the actual transformer as it stands, is quite nice. I quite like the way they use the rear legs as the claws and the hands. That's a good idea. And I like the way the fact of the head moulding, if I can get that close to you, it really looks like the one out the show, which is really nice. He stands very well. I've got criticisms of the figure. The little arms at the back there, yeah, kind of ruin it. And this bit at the back here which is meant to hold the tail. Another thing with the tail, it does split open, if I can get my fingers in it, like that, and he holds it. But it's meant to have a like a sort of like spinny sword that comes out of it and gives it the tip. So if you notice, mine does not have the tip because I lost the sword. But he uses it in the show. All in all, Dinobot is a really good character. As I said, he reminds me of a Klingon. He has honour and duty above anything. And yes, initially the Maximals don't like him. And why should they? He's a Predacon. But he turns out to be one of their most useful individuals in their entire team. And he saves them more times than I can mention. And as I said in the video, well, yeah, I don't want to reiterate everything I've said. There's no point. It just gets boring saying the same thing over and over and over again. But yes, he is a unique character. Because as I said, I thought he was going to be the Starscream of Beast Wars. Starscream, are you up there? One sec. Starscream is stuck. And they've all fallen over. You monkey nuts. So yeah, I thought he was going to be the Starscream of the show. But he didn't. He didn't do the Starscream things. He had honour, pride and dignity. All of the things that Starscream does not have. And it's funny I chose my name as Starscream to go on the YouTube channel. But that's a long time ago. But yes, Beast Wars Dinobot. Absolutely brilliant. This is the original one, but there's been so many recasts of him that I could highly recommend. No, I actually like the original one. It's actually my favourite. So, well, that's Beast Wars for you. And that's Dinobot. Not to be confused with Grimlock. Well, I could do a whole review on the Dinobots that are sitting up there at the moment, but we'll do that another day if I'm still here. Now, I'd like to thank anybody who's still subscribed to me, and if you're still interested in my channel, thank you. It means a lot. But as I said, YouTube are getting pretty funny with stuff I put up. I've had more stuff removed now, so don't know how much longer I can continue on here. But then, I don't know. I don't know is the honest answer. But if you enjoyed this view of Dinobot, who is the star here, then good. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will hopefully see you soon. Take care.